The storm clouds are flying into Melbourne today, so I thought what better day to crack a beer, sit down with your new bike and give it a good check over. Bike shops aren't infallible, but hopefully just with a basic set of tools and a very basic knowledge, even the most beginner can do this sort of check over. So literally all you will need for this check is a set of basic Allen keys, such as the one shown. You can also use a multi-tool, although they are a bit awkward, but it's better than nothing. In this video, I literally use a 4 and a 6mm Allen key. You can also use a socket set for checking your bike. It's best to have one on hand. We won't be using one in this basic video, but it's something that will come in handy. And finally, your basic flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver. So first thing we'll check is one of the most important things is that your wheels are actually tight. As you can see here, once you hit the brake, it violently shifts to the right. That's way more pronounced when you've got your weight on the bike. And this, in this case, literally means that the wheel is just not tight enough. So all I had to do here was just tighten up the front axle, half turn, and it was so much better. The wheel was straight as soon as you braked. So first things first, check your wheels, make sure they're tight enough. Such a simple thing to do, especially before it leaves the shop. This is 100% just me being finicky, but literally would have taken 2 seconds for them to fix. The handlebars aren't centered into the stem. So all we're going to do is just get those 4 bolts, undo them, and then shift the handlebars across so it's centered. It's literally as simple as undoing 4mm bolts in this case. You always want to tighten and loosen these bolts in a cross pattern. That just makes sure you've got even tension across them. So as you can see, it's sort of a diagonal X shape that we're going to undo and redo these bolts in. So nice easy one. While we're working on the stem and you've got the 4mm Allen key out, you may as well just have a look at the back bolts, make sure they're tight. Don't go too crazy, they don't have to be hugely tight, but you don't want your handlebars shifting around. The next thing we'll look at is definitely more of a comfort issue. In this case, they've put the shifter right up to the grip and I'm losing about a third of a grip because the shifter is so close. So what we're going to do is just loosen the 4mm bolt, happens to be just the same as everything else, and move it over to the left wherever it feels comfortable. Now obviously this is going to vary depending on your hands and how you like to ride, but it's a good idea just to loosen it off and just get your hand feeling comfortable and adjust it to suit. Once again, you don't have to go super crazy with this nut, but make sure it's adequately tight. You don't want it shifting around. This also applies to the brake levers, so just once again loosen it off, shift it around so you feel comfortable, and do it back up. While you've got your Allen keys out, just give any other bolts you can see a little nip up, or just check, make sure it's tight. It's best to be safe. As a general rule of thumb, you want your saddle to be around your hip height. So here's a nice easy one. Loosen that quick release lever if you have it. Drop it down to your hip height. That's pretty much where you want it to be. Bike setup and geometry is something that you can spend hours and go crazy on, but in this case, I just want to feel comfortable on the bike, and I feel like the seat can go back a little bit. So it's literally a case of, on this bike, grabbing a 6mm Allen key, undoing this bolt at the bottom of the seat, and sliding it back or forth to your desired position. You can always just undo it and try it again if you don't get it quite right, but all I need is a slight adjustment back and it feels pretty good. You don't have to go too crazy with tightening this up, but nice and tight. My philosophy is always to check something twice, even if you get it brand new from the shop. So I hope this video has shown you a few little things to look out for. If there's anything else you want info on or any more tips, please let me know in the comments below and I'll try my best to get back to you or even make a future video on it. Thank you so much for watching and can't wait to share something new with you next time. Bye for now.